On today's episode, we're gonna cover 3 bottles you can find for around 30 bucks. Now, depending on the area that you are in. I go by the name of, let's get into this.
Play the intro.
I go by the name of Lord, let's serve you some whiskey. And we're back, and we're back, and we're back. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Over the weekend, I was thinking about future episodes I wanted to do, and this one in particular came in mind. I'm gonna do a series of these, but first I was like thinking to myself, what are the 3 bottles for around $30 that are super cool, easy to find, depending on where you are. So it's gonna be a very short episode. So before we get into that, go ahead, drop me a good old subscribe. Stick around for a while, folks. Trust me, you're gonna want to. A lot of cool content coming up soon. Anywho, so for today, I got my trusty list for today. The first bottle we're gonna get into, I actually don't have because I actually ran out. It's the Old Forester 100. Now, the Old Forester 100 around my part, I believe you can get for around $26.99. I personally like the Old Forester 100. The Old Forester 100, if you wanted to, could be an everyday sipper. However, for that price, I would say you can definitely get a Wild Turkey 101, which I personally like. You can definitely get Wild Turkey 101 for around 21. You can always get the Evan Williams Bottle of Bourbon, which is also cheaper for like around 15. But the reason why I like Old Forester 100 is it's pretty flavorful. Not saying that the Evan Williams isn't flavorful or the 101, but it's something about that Old Forester 100 in a cocktail that's pretty good. Like I said, you can find that for around $26.99. They do make an Old Forester 86, which is exceptionally really well. It's 86 proof, and that's a little lower, but it's still kind of even more than the Evan Williams, and I think maybe Wild Turkey 101, I'm not sure, but Old Forester 100 would be my first pick for a recommendation for a bottle under 30 bucks. It's easy to drink it neat. It's also pretty good in a cocktail or straight as is. I would say this much. If you are into the Whiskey Roll series, they do make 100 proof expression. However, that is their bottle and bond, so I believe that one would be a little older than the Old Forester 100. I'm unsure how old the Old Forester 100 is in general, but I personally like it. It is cheaper than the bottle and bond series, but go try it for yourselves. Anyway, moving right along. So the next one I have on my trusty list is definitely a crowd favorite. It's the Old Granddad 114. Now, folks, this one is really good. This one is a crowd favorite. Obviously, there's been a lot of hype on the internet. People think, I promise you it's not. Jim Beam's not gonna get rid of this anytime soon. You have nothing to worry about. So yeah, Old Granddad 114. I personally like it. The proof, I would say, is pretty good. They do make the 114, as you see right there, and they do make a bottle and bond version as well. And then I believe there's a 80 proof version, but they're all good. I personally like the 114. You could drink it neat, but usually when I drink it, I usually have it on like a rock, or I do it in an old fashioned. It's only 2 ways I like it. I necessarily wouldn't mix anything with this, like a soda or anything. It's kind of weird for that proof. The bonnet you could, however, and then the other version you can. But this one, my personal opinion, on a rock or an old fashioned or Manhattan or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, so Old Granddad 114, you can find that for around 30. Now, some parts it may be marked up only because of scarcity, and people are saying that it's gonna leave soon. So a lot of people are gonna like mark it up. So preying on your FOMO to, basically clear them out. But it's one of those things that I don't necessarily bunker too many of them when I do get them. When I do get them, I probably get like 1 at a time, or maybe 2, and that's it. I don't necessarily need to have 6. Now, I would admit, when I first got into collecting, I did double down, maybe got like 4 of them or whatever. But anyway, the reason why I did that was the only place I was getting from at the time, I couldn't necessarily find them in my area, and they had them for, like I said, around 30, so it only made sense for me to bunker it. And I'm literally still going through my stash right now, so I haven't bought one in the last like 3 years. So yeah, so last but not least, Now, you know, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know one of my favorites is Knob Creek. So it's only right that we have the Knob Creek 9-year 100 proof. Now, you're probably looking like, Lord, why is that bottle so small? I'll tell you why. It's a 375. I actually got a video planned for this one, and I necessarily didn't need the big bottle, so I bought the small bottle. Now, I would say obviously the small bottle is way cheaper than the big bottle, but the big bottle, being 750 milliliters, you can find it roughly below 30 or around 30. It is great. I personally like it neat. You could do it on the rocks, you could do it old fashioned, but I like it. You know, a lot of people may not necessarily care for like that dusty peanut taste that you do get in Knob Creek. I personally like it. Also, it's pretty sure why I like Old Granddad too, because you still have that beam nuttiness that's present. It's just that with the Knob Creek 9-year, it's a little more tamed down, and I guess subdued is the word, and it's a little more vibe. Whereas the 114, it is harsh in general, but it is a good harsh. But this is more, you know, kind of up there. So that is that. I personally like it. Obviously, there's other ones we could get. I'm thinking of bottles that if you walked in the store, that they may have it on the shelf. I didn't want to get too crazy with this series. I didn't want to do nothing that was too crafty. I didn't want to do nothing that was super highly allocated or an LE, because we'll be here for days. So yeah, so let me know in the comments what your 3 top picks are for 30 or under. I'm really curious. There's a lot you could do within this, and yeah, so, and let me know, have you tried any of these when I mentioned? Yeah, so yeah, if you like this one, go ahead, give me a good old like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, and like we always say at this time, folks, cheers, salute, sante, Kobe, and all that jazz. No glass today.